NFC South Roundtable, how are we feeling? It is your usual suspects back at it again with another pre-record to break down our thoughts, predictions, and score predictions for each of the teams here in the NFC South as we talk about Week 16. As always, I am your host, Colby Cochran, here with Roundtable Sports. Today's video brought to you by BetUS. Right now, when you guys sign up and use the promo code you see on the screen, takes less than 60 seconds, YouTube 150, that is YouTube 150, you'll lock yourselves into a limited time exclusive offer of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, followed by a 125% sign-up bonus on your next two deposits, all the way up to $2,000. That is a limited time deal right now on your first three deposits, a deal that no other sportsbook on the platform is giving out. Now, right now, if you guys sign up with BetUS, the deal doesn't stop there. They'll also give you a 200% crypto deposit bonus, 10% back on your net losses 2 times a year, and they're also giving you your very own personalized account manager. Now, for you Panthers fans that might be watching, even some of you Falcons fans, maybe not feeling very good about your team, might not want to bet on your team. That's okay. I completely get it. The great thing with BetUS is that they have the best betting variety in the business. So you don't just have to use this offer on NFL football or NFL futures. You can also use it on college football, basketball, baseball, hockey, horse racing, fighting, politics, entertainment, you name it. BetUS is going to have it, and you can use that sign-up bonus on anything under the sun. They also have live wagering on all major games, which is one of my favorite things about BetUS. But play smart, play responsible, never bet more than you can afford to lose. But remember that supporting the sponsors supports everybody here at the NFC South Roundtable and everybody at Roundtable Sports. But fellas, let's go ahead and let's start getting into these games. Clay, you guys are coming off of a loss, but you are going up against the Arizona Cardinals. They're coming off of a win against the New England Patriots, but prior to that game, they had lost the previous 3 games in a row. So potentially a game that you guys can be in. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is tough for me because you're going up against a dual threat menace in Kyler Murray, because this defense is dead last in the NFL against stopping the run. And, when you're going up against a dual threat quarterback who's already rushed for over 450 yards, 4 touchdowns on 63 carries, he's that kind of quarterback that can make your defensive coordinator lose sleep over. And I think that we're going to need a miracle to contain him. You also got to think about James Conner, who's their bulldozer running back. He's almost 1,000-yard back this year. I think he's a very underrated running back in the NFL. And again, so can Carolina, again, stop a James Conner on the run? You also got Arizona's defense. They might be shorthanded. I've noticed that they have 2 linebackers out. They lost them in back-to-back plays against you guys last week, and they're questionable to play. But, again, their defense can still hit you in the mouth when you look at the numbers. They're ranking second in the entire NFL with 142 total stops. So, their guys can tackle very well. I think that this game could get ugly. I think that this team for the Carolina Panthers, after the regression I saw last week, unless this coaching staff makes the changes that I said, earlier on this week when we did our recap, if they can make the changes and play to their players' strengths, like I said, that they need to go back to, they could possibly make this game competitive and possibly win it. But I think at this point in the season, we're toast. I mean, we are 3-11 for a reason. And TJ said it best. This team's young. This team is bad, and they're learning. They are learning from the ground up on how to win and capitalize on opportunities. And I know the Cardinals aren't a perfect team, but they're at least competent. And maybe we keep it close for a quarter or two at this point. But I just think Arizona has too much firepower. And this, I think, could be a nightmare of a game. But I'm going to say that they keep it close. They kind of have a little bit of a bounce back. But I'm going to say Cardinals 24, Panthers 17.
What about you, James? What are you thinking about this Panthers and Cardinals game?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not necessarily to. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think the quartet of Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Trey McBride are going to cook, right? I just don't really have any faith in the Carolina Panthers defense right now. They're hurt. They're not playing well. And it is what it is, right? I can see the Cardinals going up early, the Panthers trying to find some way to get back into it, and they're going to make too many mistakes. I don't necessarily believe this game is going to be super close. I have the Arizona Cardinals winning 31-17.
Smitty, let's go down to you. What are your score predictions?
I'm going Arizona all the way. I saw what they did to your Patriots last week.
Man,
I think this is Marvin Harris Jr.'s coming out game, and they're still in the playoff race actually at 7-7. So they got something to play for. So I think they're gonna knock them out early, knock them out the box early. James Conner is probably one of the most underrated running backs in the league. This Arizona offense is probably underrated, and the defense we talked about on the recap show. Butter Baker, highest paid safety in the NFL. This team, they play as a team.
No, sir. That's Antoine. That's Antoine Winfield Jr. Thank you.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, I think
James was like, put respect.
I think this Harrison Jr. coming out party, man. I can see him going for 140 yards this game. And I'm gonna take the Cardinals easily in this one. I'm going 31-13 somewhere in there.
Yeah, Arizona Cardinals too, still competing potentially for that division. So a lot still on the line for them.
Right,
TJ, what are your thoughts?
I'm about to shock y'all. I think Carolina gonna win this football game.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel like last week I mentioned on the live stream that I feel like it was the first time people were like picking them to win. And, they were coming in, they were feeling pretty good about themselves. You play Philly close, you play Kansas City close. And I think this may be the game that, Dave Canales can tell them, after the Dallas Cowboy game, like, this is the reason why you got to stay dialed in. And I think this may be the game that they respond. It's going to say a lot about them. I feel like they're trending in the right direction. But this, to me, would be the game that really tells me that they are going in the right direction. I think they're going to win. I looked at a few games with Arizona. They played the Patriots really well, and then they'll come back next week and look like a complete shell of what you've seen last week. A lot of hot and cold from Arizona. They got some weapons, but I do feel like Carolina, I think they're going to be able to respond. I think that they're going to be able to run the football. Arizona has a pass rush, but it's not as it's not a top pass rush. And I think that Carolina can do some things that can kind of confuse them. And not to mention, I still feel like, Dave Canales has some experience with the NFC West, and Kyler Murray and his tendencies from his time when he was in Seattle. So I think that they may play a role. I think it's going to be a close game. I think that Carolina might win. Well, I think they're going to win by a field goal.
All right. Well, hey, this is where we kick it to you guys. Let us know in the comment section below. Are you going to roll with TJ and say the Carolina Panthers can come out with the dub, or are you going to roll with the Arizona Cardinals and go with Clay and James and Smitty? Let us know in the comment section below. But let's go ahead and let's get into this next game. James, your Buccaneers are playing the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, who obviously have not been very good this season, but they are coming off of a win against your in-division rival Carolina Panthers, beating them pretty confidently. Sorry, Clay, not to give you PTSD. So, James, we're going to kick it to you. Let us know your thoughts and predictions for this game.
Now, before I give my prediction, I just want to say that whenever I predict the Bucs to win and my colleagues here predict the Bucs to lose, all three of them, the Bucs win. Just stick to the plan, guys.
I can't
stick to the plan.
But listen, so right now, look, the Cowboys do have some good players, right? Rico Dowell, Smitty talked about it in the live stream. CD Lamb, Brandon Cooks on the defensive side of the ball, Chauncey Golston, Micah Parsons is obviously still Micah Parsons. Ron Bland is still there as well, but they're missing Zach Martin. They are missing DeMarcus Lawrence. They are missing Trayvon Diggs. They are missing DeMarvion Overshown. Here's the big one. They're missing Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is their starting quarterback in this game. Also, statistically, the Cowboys have one of the worst defenses in the league, whereas the Bucs have one of the best offenses in the league right now. So it's not necessarily a great matchup for the Dallas Cowboys. I do take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this one. I believe if they can contain at least CD Lamb and Micah Parsons, I don't necessarily believe this game will be super duper close. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Buccaneers win 28-13.
What about you, Smitty? You going to take the Bucs?
Wow, man, I gotta take the Bucs. Like I said, they steamrolling towards the playoffs. Dallas is one of the worst teams at home. They play better on the road than they do at home, and that's butt backwards. But as I look at it, I don't think they got nobody that can stop Mike Evans. So I mean that's going to be key right there. And like you said, Trevon Diggs is hurt. Baker Mayfield is going to have a field day. So again, Dallas won last week. I don't trust Cooper Rush like that. I just don't. So I'm going 31-20.
Ooh, in favor of the Bucs?
Bucs.
In favor of the Bucs. All right, TJ, you going to make this 3 for 3?
I mean, the day I pick a Dallas Cowboy to win anything. Look, man, look at this, man. I got Tampa winning this football game. I think Bucky Irvin going to have over 200 yards of total offense, man. I mean, his ability to run the ball, catch the ball out of the backfield would not surprise me if he's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Dallas is terrible. Dallas has been terrible all season long. Smitty alluded to it. They drop games at home. They can't stop the pass. They can't stop the run. Rico Dotto has been playing really good running the football, but we know that Tampa can shut down a running game. And if you look at, CeeDee Lamb, I mean, they have a formidable secondary that can be able to neutralize him. He'll still get his targets. He'll still get his catches, but I still think it won't be enough. I think y'all kind of minimizing what Tampa about to do to Dallas. I think they're going to put about 40 points again on Dallas. I really do, man. I just think that Tampa right now, they looking dangerous, man. And Clay, you said this too. You said that, looking at them, they were the one team in the South that was able to go up against some of the upper echelon in NFC and spank them. And it wasn't close. Like when they beat them. So I don't expect for this game to be an exception. They riding a wave right now of momentum, and I just think Dallas just is on a collision course to the ground, man. Mike McCarthy is a dead man coaching, and man, that's just a terrible franchise right now. I got Tampa.
All right, Clay, you gonna make this 4 for 4?
Yeah, the day I'm with TJ, the day I picked the Dallas Cowboys to ever win a game. They playing the Raiders. Yeah, you'd have to torture me pretty badly. No, I'm going Tampa Bay. They're the hottest team in the NFC South. They're one of the hottest teams in the NFC. I think that when you're going up against one of the worst defenses in the NFL, obviously they didn't show that last week against my team, but again, that just proves how bad my team is. So, again, they allow 8 yards per pass attempt, and they're I think the 6th worst team in the NFL in run defense. I expect Bucky Irving to have a big game in this game, and Rachaad White to have a big game as well. I think the dual threat back system there is going to be something that Liam Cohen's going to lean on in this game. I think Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans will connect for at least 2+ touchdowns in this game. I'm taking the Bucs in this big time. I'm going to go 31-21 Bucs.
All right, guys. Well, the panel is completely taking the Buccaneers against the Dallas Cowboys. Let us know in the comment section below. Are you also going to ride the hot hand and go with the Buccaneers, or are you going to go with the upset and take the Dallas Cowboys? Let us know in the comment section below. Smitty, let's go ahead and transition on over to you. Your Falcons, they're coming off of a win against the Raiders. Not very confident, very, very close. Came down to the wire, but you squeaked it away. You're now facing the New York Giants, who are also one of the worst teams in football. What are you thinking here?
Stick to the plan. As I've been saying, 168 yards last week against the Raiders. Bijan Robinson, 125 yards on the ground. I think you keep that same recipe against a team that can't move the ball past the 50-yard line. As I look at it, if Michael Penix plays this game, if he starts, you stick with that recipe. You take the pressure off of him, run the football, and he can find open receivers because those throws that Kirk Cousins cannot make, Michael Penix can make those throws. We saw Kyle Pitts has been in up this season. You get a strong on quarterback like a Michael Penix who loves his tight ends. I think it opens up a whole new can of worms because, as I said, if Kyle Pitts can control the middle of the field, that opens up the run game, and that's what the Falcons do best. And I think that's what they're going to do this game. And as I look at the Giants defense, they're missing their top sack guy, their key defensive player in Dexter Lawrence. Another reason why I think Bijan will have a big game, and also Tyler Algier will help out. So if Kirk Cousins plays, they may still win, but I don't think it'll be a big win. If Penix plays, I think it's a blowout. So I'm taking the Falcons in this one. They won 15-9 last week. I give them 17-10 this week.
17-10. All right, TJ, who are you thinking? Are you going to take the upset and go with the New York Giants?
Heck no, man. Like Atlanta go win this football game. I mean, let's look at the Giants. Look at the Giants, man. Man, like the first week they started Tommy DeVito, and then they went to Drew Lock. Then it was Tim Boyle and Tommy DeVito. Man, these guys ain't trying to win. You know, you had Shadur Sanders doing a Heisman Trophy, ceremony, throwing passes to Malik Neighbors out in Times Square. Like they know what the deal is, man. They know they're trying to get themselves a quarterback, and as bad as they could possibly be, that's what they're trying to be to get the quarterback of the future. This is a get right game for the Falcons, man. Another one. You know, this is a game where you can kind of get things on track. Now, I will say this. This could be a game where if Kirk Cousins looks bad in the first half, you might see Michael Penix in the second, and you might see him going forward. This might be one of those games, man. But I just think that the Falcons are going to win this football game. I think that it's going to be close because nobody's really blowing out the Giants. I mean, they lost to Baltimore, but there's levels to this. But teams that kind of in that same wavelength when it comes to like competition, they stay competitive, you know. So I think it's going to be a close game, but the Falcons are going to win. I mean, the Giants suck. I mean, y'all know they suck.
Yeah. Hey, to your point, crazy thing is Kirk Cousins did not throw a pass in the first half last week. That's a sign. So, honestly, if he's bad the first half, you're going to see Penix the second half.
Yeah.
What about you, Clay? What do you think about this?
The Giants are on a 9-game losing streak. Make it 10. And who is the Giants quarterback? Can anybody answer that for me right now?
Is it back to Tommy DeVito?
They've had 3 starting quarterbacks in the last 3 weeks. Tommy DeVito started one game. Drew Lock started against the Saints, and now they had Tim Boyle last week playing against Baltimore. They want to lose, man.
They play duck goose at quarterback.
Enough said.
Drew Lock. I would roll with Drew Lock if I was the Giants. I think he looks the best.
I mean, at this point you have to, but no, enough said. I think, and then, we were talking about the worst teams in the NFL. I think the Giants are worse than the Raiders. I do.
Wow, that says a lot.
Man, don't it do? Don't it?
What about you, James? Do you think too that the Giants are worse than the Raiders? And do you think that the Falcons could win this?
Well, firstly, to answer Clay's question, I heard a guy, Colby Cochran, was actually getting ready to play quarterback for the New York Giants.
Dude.
I heard he was getting some football pads on, some teaching.
I heard that guy's actually really, really good at playing football and might be the first quarterback overall taken, and that they should probably just sit him for the first 10 years of his career and let him develop.
Yep. Yeah. That's what the rumors were saying. I'm not going to reveal my sources, but
big clipboard holder.
So I don't think the Giants are worse than the Raiders, but they are the second worst team in the NFL, and it is an incredibly close competition. TJ said that this should be a get right game for the Falcons. That's what last week should have been, and it still came down to a Hail Mary at the end of the game. If the Falcons, and I do agree with TJ, if Kirk Cousins comes out here and looks bad in the first half, you have to put Michael Penix in. You have to. You don't have a choice.
Yep, right.
But and also to Smitty's point, I did not know Kirk Cousins did not throw a single pass in the first half of last week's game. That's disgusting. But look, the Giants are so bad. I am not saying the Falcons are going to win because like they are like one of the top teams in the league or anything. But there's no way they can lose to the New York Giants. If they do, and you let that Raiders game go down to the wire, good
Raheem
Lord.
Morris in New York if they lose.
Yeah, like, oh my God. Like, it'd be horrible. I'm also taking the Falcons.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna win. I'll tell you why we're gonna win, because Kobe wore his hat today. So we good to go.
I wore my hat for you, Smitty. I wore it last week too, and you guys won. So Smitty might be onto something. Me wearing a hat might literally be the reason that the Falcons win. So
that game is in New York.
Next week, I'm not going to wear it, and then we're going to see what happens. And we're going to see. So you guys let us know in the comment section below. Are you going to ride the hot hand with the rest of the guys on the panel and also take the Falcons, or you're going to take the upset and go with one of the worst teams in the league in the New York Giants? Let us know in the comment section. But TJ, this is where we're going over to you. The final game to break down here in week 16. And dude, I feel like this shouldn't take a lot of time, dude. I am so sorry in advance for what your mental health is going to go through this week. Maybe just don't watch. Maybe just look at the box score after and break it down. But you guys are playing on Monday Night Football, or is that Sunday? No, you guys are playing Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. Break this down for me.
I mean, what's needed to be broken down? I mean, the only thing broken down is this roster, injury after injury.
Broken down car at quarterback. Yeah, that's the only thing broken down.
Hey, the car is in park right now. He's in park because he's not playing no more this season, more than likely. So he's going to be rolling with Spencer Rattler. Look, the Saints are not going to win this football game. I don't think that'll be a shock to anybody. I mean, in this game, I'm just looking at some of the bright spots that could possibly be bright spots for this team. How would they respond? How would Darren Rizzi have this team prepared? How would Spencer Rattler be able to kind of build on the momentum he had coming in the second half? Kendre Miller, if Alvin Kamara can't play, dealing with that groin injury, how effective will he be running the football? And some of these young guys, how are they going to be able to step up on the defensive side of the football, going up against some of this talent like Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft, etc., on the offensive side of football for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, the Saints are not going to win this game, but if they can keep it as competitive as they possibly can, maybe for a little while, I would be impressed. I mean, just show something, show some moxie, show some grit, all the while maintaining your draft position where you can get yourself a credible player that can come in, that can help you build for years to come. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough game for the Saints. They wouldn't have won this game if Derek Carr was playing, in my opinion. They're not going to win. Saints are going to lose.
Point blank. All right, what about you, Kalei?
Yeah, I mean, first things first, I got to give my Gamecock some flowers because he looked like he's actually learning a little bit, believe it or not. He had a couple sharp throws that last game. He was a little bit more poised than we've seen. Definitely a big improvement game for him because he used to force passes, and he did it at South Carolina into double coverage, all right, a lot. And at least this time, this last game, he knew when to throw the ball away, and it helped out the Saints a lot in that game. And it was just some baby steps in that game that I noticed with him. But the Packers can clinch a playoff spot with this win, right? And New Orleans has allowed 135 rushing yards per game in the past 3 games. So that's not good news when you're going up against Josh Jacob, who has scored 8 rushing touchdowns in his past 4 outings. So there is a potential blowout here if Jordan Love does not turn the ball over at home. Love has 7 interceptions in the last 6 home games for him. So he hasn't thrown interceptions in his past 4 games. So I'm going to take the Packers. I don't think it's going to be a major blowout. I do think the Packers win 27-16.
All right, James, go ahead. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm also going to give this one to the Green Bay Packers. Did you guys know that the Saints are technically not eliminated from the playoffs right now? That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
In due time.
In due time.
I give it the first quarter by 4 o'clock. They'll be eliminated.
They done. They toast, man.
Oh man. No, this is gonna be a tough game. The Saints are so hurt, and I think Josh Jacobs is just gonna run through them. And I really don't even think Jordan Love's gonna have to do that much. And I think the Packers are gonna win. I'm gonna say 27-14.
All right, Smitty, wrap us up. You gonna take the hot hand, or you gonna go with the upset? Come on, Smitty.
Man, I went and pick the Saints to fry me some beignets right now. But look, this game gonna be over quick by halftime. You said it. They can't stop a nosebleed on the run game. Josh Jacobs is a touchdown monster. I think he scored 4 touchdowns this game. I'm taking the Packers in a route 38-6.
Ooh, all right, guys. That is going to wrap us up for our Week 16 slate preview. Let us know in the comment section below. Who are you taking? Which guys got it right? And which guys, of course, got it wrong? We want to hear from you. Make sure on your way out, you guys subscribe to the NFC South Roundtable. Join the family. We would love to have you. And like the video because it helps massively support us. Another big shout out to the sponsor of this video over at BetUS. Use that promo code YouTube150 to get that limited time exclusive offer from them when you guys sign up. But of course, happy holidays to everybody. And until next time, stay safe.